everyone. My name is Renisa, and this is my podcast, Speak Up. Shout out to my new listeners out there. For those of you that don't know, the mission statement for this podcast is we'll use our voices to motivate people to overcome life challenges through self-love and respect. This is a place for self-love and respect. Shout out to my new listeners out there. Again, please push subscribe, like, and all that, and tell your friends about it. I hope you guys are all having an amazing June so far. Summer is literally around the corner, and I think it's just a good time for self-love and inner peace. I'm excited for today's episode. I have a very special guest. She's a really good friend of mine, and she's very talented, and she has a lot of knowledge on the topics that we're going to talk about tonight. You guys give it up for holistic lifestyle and wellness coach and massage therapist, Indi.
Hi.
Welcome to
Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you. You know, a fun fact, we always have coffee dates once a month, and we just chat. So I'm happy to have her right here.
Yes.
Just to chat.
Talk what we always talk about.
Yes, right. All on the camera.
Yeah.
How's everything been for you?
Good. Everything's great. Actually, I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So yeah, my name's Indi. Like she mentioned, I'm a holistic lifestyle and wellness coach, also massage therapist. I've been a massage therapist for about 7 years now, and just have always been into holistic living, lifestyle, just wellness overall. So yeah, I've ended up here. I've always been into just self-care, mental health, and overall wellness. So yeah, that's how I ended up here.
Oh my goodness, I love that. So tell us about your business and what can people expect when they book you?
Oh yeah, so my business, as I mentioned, I do massage therapy and holistic lifestyle and wellness coaching. So that pretty much entails therapeutic body work, as well as helping people become more in tune with their body, become more connected to their body. And I do that with coaching, lifestyle, just tips and tricks to help you live like a more holistic lifestyle, as well as like nervous system regulation and just self-care and things like that. So,
I love that. And it's a business. I feel like in today's world, we're so taught to just be on the go, be in a rush. I mean, you saw me rushing in here today. And it's crazy. I love the timing of this episode because that's actually been my theme for this year is regulating my nervous system and calming down and slowing down.
Yes.
So I'm just happy about that.
Yes.
So, on your business page, you have like the mission statement, helping high achieving women feel at home in their bodies. So what does that quote mean to you?
Yeah, well, that's just the clientele, like my audience of people that I've who have gravitated towards me and who I've gravitated towards, because I think I can relate to that. A lot of my clients are high achievers, boss women, entrepreneurs, women that are working really hard and giving to other people constantly, but sometimes find it hard to make space for themselves and take time to themselves. And that's relatable for me being a service provider. I, have been in that space where I'm giving and I'm helping other people and I'm supporting and doing everything for everyone else. And you have to just take that time to take space for yourself. And because that's so relatable, I started recognizing other women around me who are dealing with the same thing. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. So that just has become like a lot of my clients that I've drawn in. And those are the women, the boss women who need help with just reconnecting with their bodies. So,
we definitely need that, especially being busy on the go. I think it's even hard to just get a decent, nice bedtime, or to eat a good meal. Just those little things. And you're right. I think it's easy for us to connect with others, right? Be there, check in with everyone else's needs, and then put us last. And then I realized when you're running on E, ain't nothing getting done.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. You already know how that goes. So yeah, that's a big thing. Like I preach that to a lot of my clients. Like if you are always giving and you're always doing for other people and not taking space for yourself, really you're not going to be the best version of yourself. You're not going to be the best parent or the best entrepreneur or the best worker or whatever, best friend. You're not going to be your best self if you're not ever just taking time to do for yourself. So yeah, that's big.
Yeah, and I feel like it brings out the worst version of us. I notice when I'm well rested and I take the time, I'm like, I could get more done.
Exactly.
I can take all the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in your opinion, what's the best thing about a holistic lifestyle?
Well, a holistic lifestyle, I mean, that's just I feel like it can make a big difference for people. I guess we can pretty much like talk about what holistic living and lifestyle is. So holistic lifestyle consists of like understanding the whole aspect of you, like the whole aspect of a person. So not just addressing certain symptoms or certain things here and there. It's understanding the connection between the mind, body, and spirit. So your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, emotional health. That's essentially what holistic lifestyle is. And I think a lot of people are so used to like specifying certain areas and not understanding how important it is to realize that everything's connected. And once you really understand that, to me, that's true well-being. That's true well-being if you're able to connect all of those components. So yeah.
You just educated me just now. I didn't know that extra part about it.
Yeah.
I hope y'all taking notes out there. You're expert, but I'm excited for it. So, being in the wellness field, you are exposed to a lot of different energy. People come to you different things, all kind of stuff, So how do you protect your peace and energy?
My goodness. Practice? That's such a good question. It's funny. I get that question a lot, actually, especially as a massage therapist.
Yes.
A lot of my clients are even like, you're touching people all the time. Like, how are you able to, deal with that? And I'm not going to say it's easy. It definitely takes a specific type of person who can deal with different energies. Luckily, I can say that like a lot of the people, a lot of it's about like who you're attracting and being in tune with, like, if you're in tune with yourself, and know yourself and know what you're doing, you're going to attract certain people. So luckily I attract a lot of like-minded people. A lot of my clients become like really good friends of mine, and a lot of people have good energy. And that's one good thing I guess I can say about like when you're working for yourself, you kind of get to like decide who you're working with and what energy you want to be around. But whenever there are times where maybe I'll get, somebody whose energy is a little off, or just not the ideal person, I usually, I feel like I like to say I'm good at like alchemizing energy. So that's like transforming their energy. Usually like I'm able to just use my energy to like reset the vibe. And a lot of times people who maybe their energy's off, when they come see me, I'm able to like rebalance that for them and change the energy pretty much. I can transform that. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like that's something that when you're a body worker or you're like working in the healing space, you kind of learn to do that. But then there's ways to also like, if the energy is just really bad, you just know how to like, you get ways to learn how to clear that bad energy out, So yeah, you just kind of learn, and then you either just don't work with those certain people anymore, or just learn to just reset and clear the energy.
I love that. And that's definitely a skill, and I feel like it goes with you being connected to your own body, because you're like, when like your body's rejecting.
That's very important.
Someone's energy.
Very
like,
important.
I don't want this up in here.
Exactly.
Because I even like tattoo artists I've talked to. They said if they feel like a client is off, they won't even book with them.
Oh yeah, girl. I was gonna say hairstylists, nails. Yeah. Anyway, you're working with people a lot, you've got to be, like you said, you got to know, you have to recognize what feels good and what doesn't, So yeah.
I'm glad. Well answered. So you guys, in honor of Indi, we're going to be talking about the importance of listening to your body. So tonight's episode is titled Well Connected. So we're going to get into that. So let's get into the accept question of the day. For those of you out there listening, please comment. I always go back and read the responses. So I'm going to go ahead and answer the accept question. I'm going to let you answer. Tonight's accept question is, what is your favorite way to listen to your body? So this literally has changed for me over the years. I feel like being a person that used to be so busy on the go and was like okay with that, I actually like slowed down more. Of the way my favorite way to listen to my body is pausing. Yep. So I think if I have too much going on at once, or I feel like the overwhelming feeling starting to come, I just pause. And one thing that has helped me is not overbooking myself. Like I try to like keep myself out of scenarios where I'm going to end up rushing. Like today, I don't know what happened today.
Things happen.
Trying to, prevent those moments where like that side of me comes out. Because I think when I listen to my body, I notice I'm not my best self when I'm overwhelmed or like
Absolutely.
under a lot of pressure. So
Yeah.
doing, seeing it beforehand, so that way I can at least limit it, has helped me.
Absolutely.
So what about you?
I feel like that's like a great way to start. Like that's, I would say same for me. I was gonna say, slowing down is huge for me. That's something I've also like just recently started doing as well, is slowing down. And when you're able to slow down, or just even like you said, pause or slow down and just be for a moment, that's to me the best way to be able to like really channel or like hear what your body is trying to tell you, or understand how you're feeling in that moment. And like we mentioned, when you're just on the go all the time and you're moving and you're just hustling all the time, that doesn't really give your body a chance to like feel what you're feeling, or you can't really feel what you're going through. So yeah, pausing is like a huge thing. And for me, slowing down has been a big like help for me. Like I do not like rushing, and I noticed that I don't like that. Like you said, like things happen, obviously life, but if you can have the control, I don't like to like wait till the last minute to do things. I like to like, if I need to get up earlier in the morning, like I've told you before, I like my morning routine is like a big thing for me. So if that means me waking up earlier in the morning, and because I need that time to be able to like do what I need to do in the morning, and make sure I allow myself some time to get ready before I go start my day, then I'll wake up earlier and make sure I make time and space for myself to be able to do that. And then the rest of the day, my day pretty much just like flows really good after that.
Right, so you're like, oh, I did this and I got a lot done.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
that was a beautiful answer. So,
Thank you.
Let's talk about the importance of listening to your body. Like I said before, we are trained to be on the go and ignore our own needs. And even with me, like with the gym, I'm like, okay, if I have a day, I've been like telling myself, okay, just go to the gym, right? And then if I'm there and it's I just want to do less reps or less cardio, I listen to that and just do it. I know I still went to the gym. I made it. I still hit that goal. But when you listen to your body, you actually feel proud. And then those days when I'm on beast mode and I'm doing all these other things, then you clap yourself even more. And I think you just have a healthier relationship with yourself versus like, beating yourself up because you should have, would have, could have did this. And that's a good way to listen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like being in tune with your body and yourself, like you said, not being too hard on yourself. That's, that's out. Like you don't need to be too hard on yourself. The goal is to go with what you feel, really being in tune with like your intuition. And like, yeah, that's a perfect example. If you're at the gym and you don't feel like going too hard, that's fine. And then the days you do want to push harder, then if that's what your body is telling you, then you go with that. And it's the same for like eating certain things. If what feels good, paying attention to what like makes your body feel good after you eat it, paying attention to the things that don't feel good when you eat it. And I like to even say like resting without guilt. Like if you want to rest and you feel like you need a break, take that break, and not only take that break, but take that break and not feel bad about like taking a break. So yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned that one too. That's been another one for me. Is like if I feel like laying in the bed today or whatever, just do it. You don't feel guilty for that.
Exactly.
And it's crazy you brought that up because the next line I was going to say is rest being seen as a luxury,
not
essential, and it's not a luxury. And I always say this, y'all. Rest is a part of the grind.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That goes with eating and all those things. You don't get an award for how busy you stayed or the fact like, oh, I did 10 more hours. You was tired though. You almost fell asleep doing something.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly like what I was saying before. Like when you are rested, when you're well rested, you're a better version of yourself, right? So you can be that better friend, you can be that better parent, you can be that better spouse, because you have the energy to be your best self. And like you said, if you're not taking that break and you're always just on the move, you may be pushing yourself to do it and to be to continue on, but that doesn't mean that you're doing it efficiently and effectively, right? So yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. I have a question. So, in your experience in wellness, what is the main component that has caused people to be the most disconnected to their mind and body?
Well, I would say that's right on par with what we're talking about. Like not ever taking a break. Not ever taking a break, pretty much. I would say that is what makes you become disconnected. So if you're just continuing, like I said, to push through things, you're always on the move, you're stressed, or you're like ignoring a lot of the signs that your body is giving you. Like if you're not feeling well, you're just pushing through everything. Also, like being a people pleaser and kind of like just continuing to do for other people. You're saying yes when you really want to say no. All of these things contribute to you kind of like losing yourself. You're doing all these things that don't feel right to you. And yeah, you lose touch with what you need and what your body needs. And yeah, I would also say not being out in nature enough.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, like being in nature is a great way to reconnect with your body and yourself, and just the sun and the sounds of nature. That is a huge thing that I think a lot of people underestimate, like how helpful that can be with like becoming more in tune with yourself.
And I think when we were kids, we were outside. We didn't have these phones. We were on the internet and all those things. And I think we were just happier children because we were like outside. Even like, I'm learning just like when I'm just driving, like just stare at the sun for a second, breathe, feel the fresh air. Let the open my curtains in the morning. Those little things really do.
It makes a difference, right? Yeah, I agree. Like my big thing I love to do that I notice makes me feel so much better is just like taking a walk outside. It can be a quick walk, or even if I'm not feeling the best or I'm having a day. I mean, I love to just get outside and just take a nice walk outside, and that just can reset everything.
So yeah, nothing like that reset.
Yeah.
And you guys, listening to your body helps you get to know yourself better. And I think it's just bomb when you just know who you are. So you guys, it is now time for the tweet up segment. Y'all know I like to be on Twitter, X, whatever they want to call it. So something that I tweeted this week that goes with today's episode is, your body will tell you to slow down. And if you don't listen, your body will make you slow down. So I know you see a lot of people coming in burnt out. I went through a period last year where burnt out caught up to me and my body just slowed down. It was like sleeping a lot and all that stuff. I just didn't have energy for certain things. And I think it's scary when you don't have control no more. Like, when you can't, your body's making you do certain things.
Absolutely.
And you can't make your body do
Absolutely,
that's
girl.
the trickiest thing.
That is so true. That's actually a great point to bring up. Me being a massage therapist, actually a lot of people come in and they're like, even people who are like really active, have been active all their life, and they're athletic, and maybe they're just pushing way too hard, and they end up with some kind of like a strain or something wrong with their body, and an injury is what I was gonna say. And like you said, it's kind of, you feel out of control because all this time you're so used to being able to do all these things, and now you're like, I literally physically can't do it anymore because your body has just told you like, no, no, or just moving too much or doing too much to where you get sick, and now you're sick and you have to stay home. And yeah, it goes back to just like, you can't be your best self if you never give yourself a chance to pause. So taking rest, taking a break, that is very important, because like you said, if you don't do that, your body will make you. So yeah.
And I think we have to unwire that notion that speed creates quality results. And speaking of body breaking down, like I could bring up a physical example. I remember when I was training for the marathon, right? So I was doing, taking my body to places never been before. So I remember the first time I did 15 miles. My knee gave out on me, right? And I was like, what's wrong? But I wasn't like doing a lot of, I was stretching, but I wasn't doing a lot of strength training. And that's my first time doing the marathons. I didn't know, I was just focused on cardio. But realized it was my IT band, so I had to strengthen that, and I was able to still do the marathon and get through it. But like, that was my body like, no, I remember limping back.
Oh my god.
Some like, I had to go limp back like 8 miles to get back back to the finish part, the starting part during my training. Yeah. And I remember my body, it scared me because I've never went through something where my body just was like, no. So that goes with it. It's like checking in with yourself and knowing, like, am I up to par? So now I know when I train for another what to pay attention to. But yeah, that was a great example. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think in physical movement, that's the main one too, is us pushing ourselves and trying to go through, the speed and stuff. So, there are consequences when we don't stay connected to our body. So I have a question. So what are some signs that a person is disconnected with their body, right? But they're still functioning like with their day-to-day tasks. I know we see that a lot because people think just because they can still get up for work or still show up that they're not disconnected from their body.
Oh girl, yeah, absolutely. That's a great one, because that actually is more common than we think. There are a lot of people who are high functioning and to the outside world, they look like they have it all together, and they are still, you know, like I said, you're running this business, or you're just this mom who just is like, you look like you have it all together, but inside you are not, you don't have it all together. You know, you're very disconnected from your body. And some signs of that, there's so many different signs. There's mental signs, there's physical signs of that. So like I said, if you're always like fatigued and tired, or your body's always aching or in pain, but you just consistently just keep pushing through, and you're ignoring that, you look like everything's fine, right? It looks like, oh wow, she has it all together, or he has it all together, but you're not really hot, you're not functioning to your best ability. Or if, say, like behaviorally or mentally, like I mentioned before, if you're the person who's just always saying yes when you really want to say no, or you're just stressed and you have a lot of anxiety, but you're just putting on this face like everything's fine, and people pleasing and giving to people, that also is a sign of like you're not in tune with yourself, and you can lose yourself because you find yourself doing so much for other people and you're giving to other people, but really inside you don't feel good about yourself. You know, you don't feel like you. And ignoring all of these different things leads to you becoming more and more disconnected from your body. So yeah.
And it's crazy because they always say be kind, right? Like you really just don't know what people are battling. I can't think of times I had a smile on my face and probably had a breakdown on my way too, wherever I was going.
Absolutely.
And I just learned to give grace to people, be nice to everybody. You really just don't know. And
right.
some people, they know how to just show up.
Absolutely.
They'll stick their hair down. Show up to them, show up to whoever and love on others, and the whole time could be falling apart. So be kind. Like I hold on to that. Depression's real, mental health's real. You said those physical pains. You think, it's just this, and the whole time that's your body like, no, something's wrong.
Exactly.
I remember when I went through a very stressful time in my life, I had this really bad hip pain. That if I got up a certain way, or if I like got low, it was just in the same spot. And when I started when I got out of that period that I was in, it went away.
Felt better, yeah.
Like I hold on to a lot of my hips.
And see, that's so great that you were even paying attention to that. Because I think that's the first step, is like a lot of people don't pay attention to those subtle things. You just think, oh, maybe I have a neck pain, I slept wrong, or like this hip pain. You just ignore it. And I think it's so good that you're like thinking, you were able to notice like, okay, yeah, my hip is hurting, and you realize as soon as you got out of a certain space, it no longer was hurting. That is like such a good, that's one of the things I really try to like teach my clients, to like be aware of just those small things, because now you can say, okay, yeah, whatever I was doing during that time was not good for me, because my body was telling me that was not okay for me to be doing, because it obviously that's a sign that your body was trying to give you. But yeah, that's a lot of people also don't realize that a lot of the physical pains that we have, headaches, aches, and pains in our body, people assume that something physical has to happen, and that's not true. A lot of times it's emotional or even traumatic things and emotions that get stuck in our body, and that causes pain in our body physically. And it can even cause you to be sick, like if you're sick often, yes, that could be an immune system thing, but it can also just be emotions that are like causing you to stay sick. Yeah. So yeah, the emotions and trauma get stuck in our body, and it can manifest as something physical, but really it's emotional.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah. And then seeing that firsthand on my own body, I was like, this is real. You know what I mean? So and I want to say this too, y'all. It's different places for people. Like, everyone's body ain't the same. Like, yeah, mine could be my hip, but I know people, their back access or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you said it's knowing you, whatever it is that your body's doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's a good one. So you guys, I'm like, red coffee. We should have coffee.
I know. That would have been so good.
But you guys, it is now time for the Life Up segment. We're going to take a problem not related to the episode. So today's Life Up there's multiple ones, is neglecting your rest, which we covered, ignoring your spirit when it's rejecting certain people or environments, and people pleasing even when it requires saying no to yourself. So these are huge. I mean, we kind of touched up on them, but I just feel like it's good to bring them up again because this is something that goes with today's episode, especially that people pleasing one. And I think the body rejection thing, rejecting people, it's crazy because I used to, when I was younger, I used to get feelings of people, right? When I would like be around people and I want to get away. And I used to be like, what is that? I used to think, so something made me like walk out the room when certain people would come in. And I used to be like, oh, maybe I'm just tripping. But now I'm older, I'm like, no, I think back then I was rejecting certain things, you know, when certain people will walk around me.
Absolutely.
And I think it's something you just don't want to ignore. Any thoughts on like rejecting environments or?
Yeah, no, that's huge. It goes back to like what we were saying of just listening to what your body is telling you. And I know like exactly what you stated. Sometimes at first you're just think, oh, I'm crazy, or I'm tripping, like I don't know. But if you really start to try to like really listen and trust your intuition and what your body is telling you, then yeah, that's a very valid thing that a lot of people experience. I'm the same way too. Like I can feel what other people are, like the energy that people are giving off, and if something doesn't feel right, sometimes you may not even know why. You know, you may not even know why that feels that way. And sometimes maybe later down the line you realize like, oh, okay, now I see why that didn't feel right being around that person or being in that situation. So that's a huge, huge thing. Even like I always like to tell people sometimes who you're around or like what you're watching on TV or like the music you listen to or the like events and things that you take part in. It's important to pay attention how all of that feels. When you leave a situation, when you leave a party or you leave from being around certain people or after you watch something, try to like take some time to yourself and think like, how did that make you feel? Like, do you feel drained after being around certain people? Do you feel like energized after being certain people? Does it feel good? Or do you feel like, you know, it feels unsettling? Like I would say definitely and take whatever steps you feel like you need to take to clear that.
That's a big one. That was some great gems. And that goes with the how do we fix this? So that was good what you listed. And then I think too is challenge yourself to start saying no more and use this time for yourself, as you just mentioned, and take control of your daily routine. I think that's a big one with like connecting with yourself and getting that rest.
Absolutely.
Carving out that time.
Absolutely.
For whatever it is with this. So what has helped you get better rest at night?
Better rest at night. Well, honestly, be real. That's one that I'm still struggling with. It's hard because so many things can affect your sleep. Okay, so many things can affect your sleep. And first, I just want to touch on the whole when you said like having a routine. That is a huge thing. I feel like that's like where I like to kind of start people to create a routine. And me personally, I don't like too much routine because you start to feel too calculated and you don't want to just feel like you're following this like, you know, like, I don't know, too much structured where you have to fit in a box all the time. But I like to call it more of like a rhythm that you give yourself and just like consistency that you give yourself, because our nervous systems love consistency, and that is one way to kind of like calm your nervous system, is to give yourself some type of like routine or rhythm so that your body knows what to expect. So like waking up at the same time every day, going to sleep at the same time every day, trying to eat around the same time every day. Once you create that rhythm, that helps a lot with your nervous system, a lot. Like it helps make your body feel more at ease because it knows that it's going to get food at this time. It knows it's going to get sleep at this time. So having that routine and that consistency is one way to help. So having like a morning routine and maybe a night routine can help a lot with sleeping better. So at a certain time, maybe beginning to wind down, stay off your phones.
Yeah, that's that one.
Yeah, like lowering the lighting in your house. I mean, all those little things can help a lot with getting better rest. But then other things like what you eat throughout the day can affect how you sleep later that night. I mean, so many different things. Obviously, having caffeine too late will keep you up. Hormonal imbalances for women is a huge thing. So different parts of our cycle can cause sleep imbalance. So it just goes back to, once again, like trying to be in tune with yourself. And even I'll tell people, if you need to, keep a diary of like what you're feeling and what makes you you know, if there's nights where you can't sleep, try to think about like, what did you do that day? Did you get enough exercise? Did you eat something that may have just been like not good for you? Things like that can all affect it. And I think once you just keep track of everything, you can kind of like weed out what is not good and what works, and just kind of keep that. Once you find what works, you just keep that like routine going.
That was big. Let's try to get some better sleep. So guys, it is now time for the drink up water segment. Drink up water, so if you out there listening, please drink some water. Oh, I needed that. Woo! And I got a water fact for today. Today's water fact is the benefits of drinking water during pregnancy. So it builds amniotic fluid, increasing blood volume to transport nutrients. It reduces swelling, prevents constipation, and lowers the risk of UTIs, according to LifeCell-In. So I had to do one in honor of
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On there.
Yeah.
But yeah, drink the water, especially anybody out there expecting. Those are some good tips right there. I have a question. Yeah, so how has connecting with your body has changed while being pregnant?
Whew, that is a good question because, well, this being my first pregnancy and first baby, it's been a new journey for me. You know, prior to me being pregnant, I was really into like paying attention to different things, which I still do pay attention to how I feel and all that. But a lot of things change when you're pregnant. You know, you're now eating for an extra person. And as you mentioned, all the different benefits of staying hydrated. So just adjusting to having to drink more water, eat more. Like there's times where you're not really hungry, but you need to eat. Or even now, like when we were talking about the whole sleep thing, I've been experiencing getting up at night and I wasn't sure what was wrong because I'm like, I don't really feel uncomfortable, but I just keep waking up at night, and come to find out, my doctor was telling me that I may need like a snack in the middle of the night, which I never previously. I'm like, I'm not eating in the middle of the night. I'm not tired in the middle of the night. I mean, I'm not hungry in the middle of the night, but yeah, I've been doing that more now. So I'll wake up at like 3 a.m, and even though sometimes I may not feel hungry, I try to keep a small snack nearby, and usually it's actually been helping. Like if I eat a small snack, a healthy snack, of course, I'm able to go back to sleep. So I didn't know that was a thing, but yeah, when you're pregnant, you're carrying an extra person. You need a little bit more love, a little bit more rest, a little bit more water, food, things like that. So just, I think learning about all of those things has been an adjustment.
I love it. I love your big
my water bottle.
Like I got that.
Gotta drink a couple of these a day.
Let's stay hydrated.
Yes.
And you know, so another question. Any advice so far that you would recommend to pregnant women who want to prioritize their well-being during pregnancy?
Well, I mean, it's the same, I would say, even when you're not pregnant. For me personally, that's a great question, because that's actually probably been the highlight of my pregnancy. And when people have asked me if I've been like dealing with a lot of issues this pregnancy, I really have not. And I contribute that to prioritizing like my sleep and my space from people, not having to like over exert myself. Luckily, I haven't been having to like work a lot. So that's like giving me like a lot less stress. Just resting more. All of that has contributed to me just having a much smoother pregnancy. So just when you're pregnant, I feel like you need to really listen to your body even more so than you did before you were, and really like do what feels right, what feels good, what the things that like feel good to you. But yeah, rest is like probably the biggest thing that I would say. Yeah,
that's a big one.
Yeah,
okay, I'll take it. But you guys, it's now time for the show up segment. So if you're out there listening, please comment, how did you show up for yourself this week? I'm going to go ahead and go first, and I'll let you answer. How did I show up for myself this week? I showed up for myself this week by getting my eating down. I feel like I've been like on a good meal prep routine, and like my cravings have been lowering of like craving like junk food or like just foods I would just snack on randomly.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of that. I'm really taking a stab at it, getting my nutrients and things like that. What about you? How did you show up for yourself this week?
Show up for myself this week, I would say I like upped my walking.
I like that.
So I've always been a walker, but now I've been trying to getting in. Now I've entered officially in my 3rd trimester. So I'm really just like doing more things for my body. So walking, more stretching, things like that to just help prepare for birth. But yeah, I would say this week, especially since this week actually was my entrance into my 3rd trimester. So I officially like I've been upping my walking and my stretching. So yeah.
Get it. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
So yeah, I always like to ask all my guests a fun question. So your fun question is, I know you're a coffee lover like me. So if you had to drink any coffee type for the rest of your life, which would it be?
What do you mean coffee type?
It could be any coffee. It could just anything.
Like flavor?
Yeah, just any coffee.
For the
Anything that's on your mind right now. Coffee that
I mean, I would probably keep it. I would probably keep it simple. If it's something I have to drink for the rest of my life, I would just probably do a simple. I would do a hot vanilla almond milk latte. Like, just keep it simple. That's. I love to try different flavors of coffee, but if I had to choose one, I'll just keep it simple.
Okay,
not too sweet.
But yeah, we got orders there. I love that. But you guys, it's now time for the wrap-up segment. The wrap-up segment. So how does this relate to self-love? Self-love is loving yourself enough to connect to your body. If you love yourself, you're going to connect with you. Think about what it needs. Just like a pet that you love, you're going to make sure it ate. You're going to make sure it gets its rest. It's sheltered. So do that for yourself. Connect with yourself. So how do you practice self-love?
Well, I feel like I've already said it before, but a big thing that I do is resting with like unapologetically. I would say that's my biggest way of self-love. I know a lot of people consider self-love as like getting a massage or getting a facial, which of course those are things that I love to do too, but I personally feel like self-love should be practiced like on a daily basis. And so yeah, resting unapologetically without guilt, taking a break, and doing the things that like really make me happy. Like focusing on at least doing something once a week that just really, really, really makes me happy. So yeah, that's how I would say I practice self-love.
Okay, and final question that I like to ask all my guests: what do you like to be remembered for?
I like to be remembered for just how I can spread information and help people with just whatever, with my experiences and the things that I've gone through. I want to be able to just share that with other people as much as possible and help people, maybe even just one person out there who didn't know something, and if I can help you figure out something that's wrong or help you become more balanced or aligned in your life, like if just one person or one small thing that I can change for somebody, that would make me happy. Like just being able to help someone just feel better.
Yeah, you do that every day. So
thank you.
Great answer. But remember, you guys, health is wealth.
Absolutely.
And remember, your body is always speaking. So pause and listen.
Ooh, yes.
I appreciate you coming on here
and chatting with me.
We could have gone on forever. Yeah. But yeah, we'll come back to another. Yes. But before we go, love, can you shout your information out? Where can people find you and book you and all that?
Yeah, definitely. You can find me for just booking. You can find me on all social platforms at living.aligned.isw. So yeah, that's me.
Make sure you tap in she's based in LA.
Yes.
All right, but I love you guys. I appreciate you all tapping into another amazing episode of SpeakUpJV. I will be back soon with another one. Please tell your friends about SpeakUpJV. It's available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify at SpeakUpJV, and my personal is at Vernisa. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your week.